Hey everybody, good morning. I am doing this review about a pet cooling mat and a pet cooling blanket, and unfortunately I actually recorded this once and somehow lost the footage, so I'm going to do the best I can to redo this for you all. So Rywell has sent me a cooling mat and a cooling blanket to test out and review. And if you've been following me for a while, you know that I did a review of a cooling sheet last summer and was pretty happy with it. I feel like with all of these cooling fabrics, it's not anything miraculous if you're in West Texas triple-digit heat, but you know, it is a cooler fabric to lay on. So I do think in that regard, it absolutely helps. I am still using these. I'm actually keeping them on my bed in the van here for the dogs. So I'm just gonna dive in here and tell you a little bit about these two items. First up is this cooling blanket for dogs, and this is made by Rywell once again. This comes in 3 different sizes. You can get it in a 40 by 60 inch, you can get it in a 60 by 80 inch, or a 32 by 44 inch. This blanket is double-sided, so one side is the cooling side, and then the other side is just kind of a soft side for dogs to lay on. Maybe when it's not quite so hot. Just make sure that when you lay this down, if you're intending it to be a cooling blanket for the dogs, make sure you have the cooling side up. Otherwise, the other side does not have a cooling effect at all. This blanket has a high-end stitching process, and the density of the woven thread is 5 to 10 times more than other dog blankets. This blanket is machine washable, and I have washed it in the machine before and it came out just fine. Drying it in the dryer, it does say tumble dry. Do not use in the sunlight for a long time. The sun's UV rays will destroy the cooling fabric. Again, I do think overall that this cooling blanket does help keep the dogs cool. I've put it down on the full-size bed in the van. Basically, I just leave it down and plan to for the rest of the summer, you know, just as an extra layer of heat protection for them. So we do have an air conditioner in the van that is operable when the van is off, and I also have a 12-volt fan that I run constantly in addition to the ceiling fan. So the cooling blanket and the cooling mat are just an extra added layer of how to keep the dogs cool in the hot summer. So moving on to the mat, this also comes in different sizes. You can get it in a size small, which is 24 by 18 inches. The size medium is a 30 inch by 20 inch, and the size large is a 36 inch by 27 inch. And the size extra large, which is what I got, is a 44 inch by 32 inch. Now, I got the extra large thinking that both of my dogs could lay on it, and they can, sort of. But when Jaffe really wants to sprawl out, he pretty much takes up the entire mat. So I may actually purchase another one of these so that I have one for each dog to just sprawl out on. When I first opened this package, and I wish I still had this footage because it was kind of cute, I opened up the mat and I laid it down on the bed in the van, and Jaffe immediately took to it. He just basically sprawled out on it and laid on it for quite a while. I do think this mat has a slightly better cooling effect. I don't know if it's in the fabric, the way it's made. I don't really know what makes the difference in it, but to me it does feel like the mat is maybe a little bit more effective. The cool thing about the mat, no pun intended, is that it actually changes color. So it starts out this really pretty blue color when the mat is cool, and as it absorbs heat, then it turns white. I think there's actually a rating as to what temperature it changes color at. It's kind of cool just to have that extra visual of like, okay, it's blue, it's still pretty cool, or when it turns white, then yeah, hey, it's pretty warm. So Rywell says that this will actually give a 4 to 6 degree Fahrenheit drop in temperature. All I can tell you is how my dogs react to it. And both of my dogs love it. I mean, it does not fill up the entire bed, but they will seek it out to lay on it. So I think that says something. On the back of this mat, there are actually little silicone texture dots on it just to keep it from slipping if you've got it on a hard surface. And also, this mat is pretty soft, so it actually has multiple layers of fabric to it. It's got the color changing cool fabric on the top, then it has a soft filling, and then it has a breathable material, and then it has more soft filling, and then it has a waterproof layer, and then it has a non-slip layer. They've got a picture of it on the Amazon listing if you want to check that out. Both the blanket and the mat is made from an Auxjack cooling textile fabric. And I looked this up because there wasn't really a lot of information that came with the blanket and the mat. So I Googled it, and I found a website that talks about the Auxjack fabric. It says Auxjack is a revolutionary high-performance functional textile made with conductive cross-section polyester fibers and jade particles, which wick away humidity from the skin, accelerate moisture evaporation, absorb excess body heat, and produce a feeling of coolness and freshness. The jade particles produce an endothermic reaction that absorbs energy, while the modified conductive cross-section polyester speeds up moisture evaporation when the body perspires. The combination produces a cool sensation and reduces the skin temperature by 2 to 5 degrees Celsius. Auxjack is a new type of jade-based healthy textile that incorporates jade nanoparticles into cool touch polyester fiber with an X-shaped cross-section. This cool polyester knitted fabric with jade particles embedded has an excellent cooling comfort ability. And this website actually goes on to talk about the different cooling levels and mix of fabric and the effect that that mix has on the cooling effect. So I'll link this website in the description so that you've got an idea of what the Auxjack fabric is and what it does, how it's effective. All in all, I really do think that both the mat and the blanket help cool down my dogs. Like I said, I'm going to keep these on the bed throughout the summer, and I will definitely put them back in the cabinet for next summer as well. I definitely think that these can help. I'm really glad that Rywell sent these to me. I'm happy to have them and continue using them. If you're interested in purchasing these, I'll leave my Amazon associate links in the description. And the color changing cooling mat, actually, I was given a 10% off code for you all to use from Rywell. So special thanks to Rywell again for sending these to me to review and for sharing the 10% off code for you all. If you have any questions about these, feel free to leave them in the comments and I'll do my best to answer as soon as I can. Thanks so much, and I'll see you on the next video.